Hey, what's going on, guys? Being Hardy here, aka Duende, and welcome to Homeschooled Nerd. So Adventures in Odyssey is one of those things which is pretty much taken hand in hand with homeschooling. I mean, if you're a homeschool family, chances are that you grew up listening to Adventures in Odyssey. The weird thing is, I didn't. In fact, it wasn't until a couple years ago that when my family got a CD having a bunch of historical episodes of Odyssey that I actually got into it for the first time. I had heard a few episodes before then, but it wasn't until listening to this that I realized Odyssey is pretty cool. And then I listened to episodes like the Green Ring Conspiracy. Seriously, even if you're not homeschooled, you need to check out the Green Ring Conspiracy. It's a solid story, even if it is just an audio drama. But ever since I started listening to Adventures in Odyssey, more than anything, I just wanted to experience these things myself, go in the imagination station, have all these adventures. Adventures in Odyssey, that is. It's just so amazing. If only there was some way that I could experience it for myself. That's right, it's Adventures in Odyssey Treasure of the Incas. Created by Christian developer Digital Praise, Treasure of the Incas is the first of 3 computer games based on the Adventures in Odyssey radio program, or as the box puts it, based on America's favorite family radio program. Well, I guess that's true. I mean, if we're talking about family radio programs, there's Jonathan Park, Coral Island Adventures. Anyone ever heard of any of those? So anywho, there's not really much to say about this game or its developer. Aside from the 3 Adventures in Odyssey games, Digital Praise also worked on a Dance Dance Revolution remix called Dance Praise, and then this offshore Guitar Hero clone called Guitar Praise or something. Most recently, they teamed up with the company Left Behind Games to do who knows what. Seriously, that was in 2012, and I haven't been able to find anything else about the company. Aside from the Left Behind PC games, which look just great. So, I guess without any further ado, let's see what this game has to offer. So the game starts out with Eugene in bed. A very big bed. How would anyone even need a bed that big? I guess he has plenty of room to sleep in. I mean, I move a ton in my sleep, but all I get is a dinky mattress on the floor. No, really. I use the mattress on the floor. So anyway, Eugene is asleep talking about relativity or something.
E equals MC cubed? That's utterly ridiculous, Albert.
Yeah, I have dreams where I'm arguing with Albert Einstein about the equation for the theory of relativity all the time, too. Who'd have guessed? Suddenly, a rock flies through Eugene's window with a note attached to it telling Eugene to give him a map his parents apparently stole from them. So naturally, knowing nothing about this map or whatever he's talking about, Eugene decides to take the note to Mr. Whitaker.
Hi, this is Chris, and welcome to the Adventures in Odyssey interactive CD-ROM game. You're about to help Connie, Whit, and Eugene solve a baffling mystery.
That sounds exciting.
Now, real quick, I'd like to just come out and say this right now. I really don't like the Adventures in Odyssey art style. I'm not sure why Focus on Family insists on using this kind of art style to represent their show, but it does not reflect the show at all. And believe it or not, was the thing that kept me from getting into the show all those years ago. It just looked cheesy and cartoony and not at all as awesome as the actual show is. Now, the biggest problem with the Adventures in Odyssey art isn't the style per se. Rather, it's that there is no character with any of the characters' designs. For instance, Mr. Whitaker. He's a grandpa type who runs the store Wits End, where he specializes in serving ice cream and good advice to everyone. Oh, and also he happens to be a former World War II veteran as well as a secret agent. So yeah, he's pretty much the cool grandpa that we all wish we had grown up. So what do you guys think his character design looks like? Yep. That's it. Nothing about this says anything about his character. It lacks any kind of subtlety or character. It just fits with the basics of what Wit is. An old guy in an ice cream shop. An old dude in an ice cream shop is not cool. You know what's cool? Mr. Whitaker, who happens to be an old guy in an ice cream shop. So no surprise, I'm not really much of a fan whenever Adventures in Odyssey makes a cartoon. I would rather honestly just listen to it. But this game takes that animation to the next level of bad. I mean, just look at the box art. Eugene is all,
Oh, look at the percentages and the overall calculations I've made show that it would be advantageous to follow the map.
and always like, hey guys, look, we're America's favorite family radio program. And then Connie's over here getting stung by a scorpion like a moron. The animation in this game is really bad. I honestly think it looks even worse than the normal animation for Odyssey, which honestly isn't that much of a surprise, but it does kind of make it difficult to enjoy the story, which is actually really good. But hey, at least they use the same voice actors from the radio drama. So that's pretty cool. So Eugene takes a note to Wit's End to discuss with Wit and Connie what it could possibly mean. I'm just gonna assume you guys already know who the characters are since that's all the game does.
Don't try and stop me. Mr. Whitaker, that last sentence is in all capital letters. The implication being that whoever wrote this letter is quite serious.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. What's that? Someone threw a rock through your window with a note attached? That's probably normal. Oh wait, the note was in all caps? Yep, they're serious. So Wit decides the best course of action is for Eugene to search his belongings to try to find anything about the map or his parents, while he and Connie do what research they can at Wit's End. Thus begins the actual gameplay part of the game. After each cutscene, you're given the option to play as Wit, Connie, or Eugene to complete each character's assignments. So, going to Eugene's house, we discover that apparently his only belongings are this box under his bed. Seriously, if this is all he has, I'm surprised he didn't look through this 1,000 times already, but whatever. So I bet you're wondering, Vinny-hearted, how do you play Adventures in Odyssey Treasure of the Incas? Well, fellow nerds and nerdesses, yeah, click on stuff. Sadly, however, the amount of stuff you can click on is limited, making it way too obvious what to do in situations like this. So inside the box are a picture, a pen, and Eugene's father's invention, the Meltzer Logic Puzzle, or MLP. Really creative name there. Wait a second. MLP? Confirmed! Eugene's a brony. It's proven. Anywho, the whole system's a dud anyway, because not only is it easy as all get out, it shows you when the pieces rotate the right way, making it possible to solve the entire puzzle without even trying once you get the hang of it. So let's just hold on to that for now and look for the other items of interest. The amount of items in the box actually brings up something that's kind of a problem with this game. Every single thing has a purpose. Obviously that's totally normal and understandable, but still, what makes something a mystery is that the answer isn't given to you. You have to search around for clues to piece the answer together for yourself. You know, I think I've just realized the biggest problem I have with mystery games. Too often, it's really easy for a game to just force you down a path, to where you just click everything or do everything there's to do and wait for the game to trigger the mystery being solved. The concept is cool. Being able to feel like you're solving a mystery would be really fun. Problem is, unless it's well designed, it becomes less of a mystery and more of a click all the things. Alright, click this, click that, click everything, alright. I'm so good at video games. So aside from that, also in the box we can find a picture of Eugene's parents and their partner Carlton, and a pen that doesn't work. Opening it up, Eugene finds nothing but a paper with 10 numbers on it. Thinking there might be a phone number, you know, like anyone would think when they see 10 numbers with no spaces, dashes, or any other distinction that it might be a phone number. But what do you know, it turns out he was right, because when he calls the number, it turns out to be a lady named Andrea, who is Eugene's mother's roommate in college, and tells Eugene that she has something from his mother to give him. So that's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and hop over and see what Wit and Connie are up to. Each character has a different set of puzzles to solve. Connie's portions consist mostly of research, which may sound hard, but all you really have to do is wait for Connie to say,
Okay. Weird. I wonder if the legend is true.
As for Wit, his first puzzle consists of you examining the note that was thrown through Eugene's window to find clues. I gotta say though, it's segments like these that really make the game cool. You always hear all these complicated things that they do at Wit's End whenever they need a mystery solved, but this legitimately feels like I'm actually doing something. You have to adjust the brightness and contrast and then zoom in until you can find those 2 clues hidden in the page. But unlike the puzzles so far, this one actually requires that I do more than just click. I actually have to put some effort into solving it, and it feels awesome. If the game only had more of this and less of this.
Wow.
Each time you complete each character's segment, they meet up at Wit's End to compare notes and synchronize their data comms. It may seem like a random thing, but I actually love that all the clues you gather are stored in this data comm. Maybe it has something to do with my obsession with charts and numbers and organizing things, but some of the most fun I had in this game was organizing my clues, subdividing them under different suspects, etc. Obviously, I can't explain every single puzzle in this game, and honestly, that would be a pretty boring video anyway. Most of them are either click everything until you get all the clues, or they're just like a normal puzzle. Like, you know, a puzzle that you solve. But anyway, I need to start summarizing the story a little more if we're gonna get anywhere in this video. So Eugene goes to visit his mom's friend, who tells him his mother wanted her to give him her diary. Why Eugene's mom didn't just put in some kind of trust or have a plan a little less complicated than have Eugene try to sign his trust with her pen she sent him, and then find out that it doesn't work because there's a phone number in it, which wasn't at all obvious either. Then assuming he calls the number and her former roommate isn't dead, moved, or changed phones, Eugene can get the diary, which incidentally has some important information about people people who don't like them, including some Francisco guy, Carlton, their partner, and some Samantha Mikos lady. So, thanks, Mom. Then after 30 minutes of trying to solve our stupid code so we can even read the diary, once again, thanks, Mom, we switch over to Wit, who's inventing a trap for whoever comes to get Eugene's map, which leads to a super fun inventing segment. Seriously, why wasn't this used more? It's the funnest part! That's not even a word! So after more pointless puzzles, engaging gameplay! We use the hidden camera trap to discover the culprit is Andrea. Either that or the culprit at least went to her house. So it decides time to go to Peru. Once in Peru, we discover more information about Carlton, Francisco, and Samantha. So our crew separates to find all three, but what do you know, they're all gone. It sounds like they went into the jungle or something, so why not follow them? That's probably a responsible thing to do. It'll be an adventure.
Never mind. It's not an adventure. It's dumb.
This, I don't even know what to say. You would think, out of all the segments in this game so far, this would be the easiest to make fun. You're exploring a jungle. How could you possibly mess that up? Well, I guess we know now. Just look at this. There's so much wrong with this, I don't even know where to start. To get through the jungle, we need to use a Meltzner logic puzzle to print out the jungle map. Each time we find a new piece, we can decode it with the Meltzner logic puzzle. Just like when we played with the MLP earlier, it's super easy to solve. What's not easy is navigating the jungle. This map right here shows the basis of where you need to go. However, even when you're right where you want to be, sometimes you have to make a huge detour just to get into the right path. It's not fun, especially when you factor in the controls being absolute garbage. For some strange reason, clicking where you want to go doesn't always work. The group moves so much. How's this even supposed to be controlled? Click and drag? Oh, you'd think so, wouldn't you? And what's worse, whenever you get into the wrong area, not only is it hard to get them to go back and stay there, you have to listen to this every single time.
Perhaps we should solve the puzzle for this part of the jungle before we proceed.
Yep, you're right. Let's go back and keep looking.
No kidding.
So I finally got through and found Carlton, Samantha, and Andrea. And we're given the option who to accuse. Now this is actually a genius part of the game. If you paid attention earlier when Wit was analyzing the note, he mentioned that the culprit curled their capital letters. And when Wit was looking for Carlton in Peru, he found a note with the same style of handwriting. But rather than pointing it out, the game relies on you to take note of that and make the right choice. Or not, it doesn't actually make that much of a difference.
The proverbial jig is up, you calculating kidnapper.
What's going on?
You're tied up?
So we chase after Carlton into an Incan temple, but whoa! Looks like we're locked inside. Looks like a job for logic. So after solving some decently okay light reflecting puzzles, we break through and meet Francisco, whose family has protected the Incan treasure for years. Apparently, Eugene's parents also discovered the temple at one point and promised Francisco not to let anyone know where it was. So, good for them. So with that, the story ends with everyone happy at wit's end, no surprise, getting some ice cream. So that's Adventures in Odyssey, Treasure of the Incas. Did I have fun? Well, yeah, I actually had a lot of fun with this game. There were plenty of parts that annoyed the living lunch out of me, but at the same time, this game was just a pretty enjoyable experience for an Adventures in Odyssey fan. And honestly, the worst part to it besides the maze was probably the animation, and it almost had that so bad it's good aspect to it. Now, to be honest, the game is not perfect, or even good for that matter. But at the same time, it was enjoyable for me, and I honestly think it'd be really awesome if Focus on the Family would make some more Adventures in Odyssey games. So in the end, if you're an Adventures in Odyssey fan who maybe enjoys playing old educational games, give it a try. Just whatever you do, don't try to beat in one sitting like I did. It's not very fun. Anywho, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Until then, take it easy. I am out.
Hey guys, check out some of my other videos and subscribe.